It's a Manchu. Welcome to Divergence SMP. I am back here after having finally got the Trident farm up and running, and I got lots of Tridents, so now I can make the Guardian farm. I went ahead and enchanted all of the Tridents I got with Impaling 5, so that will help me a little bit. And I'm going to use a design for Guardian farm that I have used in the past, but when I used it in the past, it was sim distance like 12. And I could fit all of the 25 spawning locations in the farm so they're all active. I can't do that here because I'm sim distance 4, which means mobs will only spawn between 24 blocks away and 48 blocks away, in that range. If I stand right here, which is essentially the center on top of one of the Guardian spawning spots, there are 16 spawning locations that are at least 24 and no more than 48 blocks away. I've marked them with torches. So I need to set up all of those locations with Trident killers, link them all to this central location where I can stand and get all the drops to come to me. So let me start by setting up one of these cells and show you how it's going to work. Alright, so that's one of those spawning spots. I'm looking at the map to help orient me because I need to surround this spot to kind of trap the Guardians when they spawn in. And I'm going to use glass blocks on the north and west sides, because if I use solid blocks there, it could block the Guardians from spawning. There. That's how the Trident killer should work. Trying to get a good angle where you can see everything. So this is a repeater circuit I like to use. It's debatable whether I should have this on 1 tick or 2 ticks. Right now I have it set to 1 tick. I have a redstone torch on this side, redstone dust on this side, and the repeaters facing into that block so that redstone torch powers this block, redstone repeater then powers this block, which turns on that redstone dust, which powers this block underneath. When that block underneath is powered, redstone torch turns off. Then this block is unpowered, repeater turns off, this block is unpowered, redstone dust is unpowered, which turns off power to that block, and then redstone torch turns on again and it repeats. I really like using that repeater circuit. I can turn it off with a simple lever here. While it's active, I have another redstone torch on this block that's activating these 2 pistons. Now I just had to build 15 more cells like this and put some water streams in here to channel everything together. And I think ultimately I'm going to have a channel leading down this way to the spot and one leading down this way to the spot. This needs to be glass. You see the spawning locations that I'm using. I'm making sure I have glass on the north and west sides and northwest. While I'm working this, I can talk about some other things I've been doing besides gathering resources. One was checking up on my shop and see if anybody bought anything, and last time I was there, this happened. No. Oh, you freaking... Oh, you're... Angry. Since then, I've taken some steps to try to mob-proof my store a little better. I also made a portal from my store to the nether, hoping that I could make a connection to my home base through the nether. It'd be a lot quicker to get there. Going back and forth is becoming a bit tedious. But the portal I made at my store, at World Spawn, linked to somebody else's portal. And that somebody else turned out to be Diggins. I went back through the portal that I linked to, and it brought me to Diggins' base, which is pretty far from World Spawn. It's got to be close to 1,000 blocks away. I then was able to get Diggins' help leading me to Sugar Skull's base, who I'd asked for some fire resistance potions and was able to exchange some diamonds for much needed fire resistance potions because I don't currently have the ingredients to make those. It could be kind of handy. Okay, I have all of the channels complete and all of the 16 spots. Well, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spawning locations that are all going down this channel toward the center. And then there's going to be another 8 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all going to get routed down that channel to there. I had to actually move all of the item frames that I have on the chests to the opposite side so that I could fit the channel by them. I have accumulated quite a chest monster here, and I'm going to have to remedy that at some time, but not until I actually finish my base. And that's not until after this Guardian farm is done. Let's see, what's next? Let me set up a collection system. Now, to work on some water streams. I'm putting a trapdoor here that will keep the Guardian from getting out of this cell where the Trident Killer is, but allow the drops to pass underneath it. Now I just have to get the water to all flow. Oh shoot. What happened? Oh, I think I know what happened. I didn't think of that. There's a spawning location directly under here, so once I put water in there, they were starting to spawn in. Where's that spot? It's here, I think. I think that's the spot. So I'll just place a convenient button there. That should prevent that from happening. Yeah, this spawning location, I'm not using it because it's closer than 24 blocks from where I'm going to be standing. But if I have a water, not even a water source, but water flowing over that spot, I will get Guardians spawning there when I'm wandering around, not at that location. So, yeah, I got to make sure that's remains spawn-proofed. Alright, now let me just do a quick test of all the 16 spots. Make sure if I drop items, they will go where they need to go. Oh, looks like it got hung up on that corner. This isn't exactly a scientific operation where I have the exact layout figured out ahead of time, but through some trial and error, I was able to fix a couple of spots where items were getting stuck by rerouting some of the channels so that everything would flow from every spawning location out to the collection areas. Yep, that works. Okay, took a little bit of adjusting, but everything's set now so that the items all flow in the right direction. They all get to the right place. It looks kind of like a wacky maze, but it works. Now I'm going to set up the Trident Killers and cover up all of these tracks with some glass. Overall, this build required a lot of redstone. Let's see, for each cell, the 16 cells, I need 2 pistons. They require 1 redstone each to craft. 1 repeater, 3 redstone dust, and 2 redstone torches. All that times 16 different cells. In addition to that, I needed all the redstone dust and repeaters to connect a single signal to turn on and off all of the Trident Killers in the farm at once. that ended up to more redstone than I had. You know, the thing is, they call this game Minecraft, but I don't actually mine that much in this game. Mostly I make farms. So I really hadn't mined that much, hadn't collected that much redstone. Fortunately, I do have the trade hall / iron farm with a cleric in it, and I could just buy the redstone from him. That's what I did to finish off the project. All 16 Trident Killers are now wired up. I ran out of redstone. I had to go to a cleric to get some more. But I think it's good. I think everything's set. One final step to make this operational. Put water source there. Throw tridents there. And there. This should be good. All I have to do is stand on this spot, flip the switch. Now it looks like they're targeting me, but that's just when they get hit by the Trident Killers, they do that. They're not going to hurt me. And I do see drops coming through. Is the experience getting through? I'm not getting any experience yet. Getting lots of drops, though. Oh. I have to step a little closer for the experience to get through to me. Let's see if I can fix that. I don't like that. That's better. Now the experience is getting through to me. I can just stand here with my looting 3 sword and wait. Give it in about an hour and see what I get. I'm expecting I'll get some pretty good yields out of this farm. About 1 hour later. It's been about an hour and I've noticed a few things. For one thing, I may have miscalculated the range for some of those spawning locations. It looks like 4 of those locations that I thought were greater than 24 blocks away are not. So I'm getting 12 spawning locations that are in the effective range of 24 to 48 blocks away. But even with just 12, yeah, this is looking pretty productive. Another thing I noticed is there's a lot of fish spawning in the channel where all the drops are shuttling through. I didn't think this was a warm ocean biome, but it must be because there's a lot of tropical fish in here too. But let's look down at, you can see how many levels I have. Let's look down here and see, wait a minute, turn that off first. There we go. Let's look down here and see what we got for drops after an hour. Let's see. That's a lot of stuff. There's nothing in the chest above that. I expected most of the drops to go into the first chest. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, the salmon I think is from, like, salmon actually spawning in the collection area. Can't really reach that one. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a lot. Looking pretty good. Looking good. Now, a lot of people might build an item sorter. I'm not going to bother with that. I may manually sort it later, but I'm pretty happy with the results I've gotten from this farm. It's great. Even with a sim distance 4 and only looks like I have 12 active spawning locations, still pretty good rates. Now, this is based on a design I've done before with a larger simulation distance so I could get all the spawning locations in range. And you can find that video here, where I also go into a Java Edition version of a Guardian Farm 2, which is a lot simpler to make. Now all I have to do is make my base, and I expect it to be epic, or at least my reveal of my base to be pretty epic. So make sure you're subscribed so you'll see that next time when Amon chooses Divergence SMP.